Truth is not loud. It does not arrive with a roar. It does not arrive with a demand for attention. True truth is quiet. It stands steady, like an old tree rooted deep in the earth. It does not need to prove itself through force. It does not need to prove itself through volume. It simply is. When you encounter it, you do not feel pushed or overwhelmed. Instead, you feel a sense of calm recognition, a quiet rightness. The truth, however, has no fear. The ego operates from a place of perceived lack, a deep-seated feeling of not being enough. It's a fragile construct, built on a foundation of insecurity. Because of this, it constantly feels threatened and needs to assert its existence, to prove its worth in a world it sees as competitive and scarce. This internal panic manifests as loud, disruptive noise. This is why arrogance is so loud. Arrogance doesn't listen. It waits for its turn to speak, to dominate the conversation. It is quick to judge. It is quick to criticize. It proclaims its own superiority, not from a place of genuine confidence, but from a desperate need for validation. Arrogance insists that its perspective is the only correct one, because to admit otherwise would be to admit a flaw in its own fragile structure. It often uses shame as a weapon to control others, to make them feel small so it can feel big. It is a tool of manipulation, a desperate grasp for power, the very opposite of quiet truth, which needs no victory. Retaliation is another loud action of the ego. When it feels slighted, the ego's immediate impulse is to strike back, to settle a score. Think of the petty email, the sarcastic comment, the cold shoulder. Each act of revenge only adds more negative energy to the situation. It pours fuel on a fire, creating a cycle of conflict that consumes everyone involved. In abusive narcissistic dynamics, noise looks like domination, smear campaigns, and retaliatory shaming. The aim is control through fear and confusion, volume over validity. Quiet truth does not mirror abuse. It holds boundaries, documents facts, and refuses the bait. Reports of organized stalking echo ego's volume. Surveillance, intimidation, and coordinated pressure. Truth answers differently. Collect evidence, seek support, report safely, and stay steady. Real truth needs no domination. It clarifies, protects, and de-escalates. Real truth, in contrast, acts like cool, clean water. It doesn't fight the fire. It extinguishes it. It clarifies the issue by washing away the noise of blame and anger. Finally, there is domination. This is the ego's attempt to enforce control over its environment and the people in it. The micromanaging boss who trusts no one, the partner who dictates every decision, these are expressions of an ego terrified of losing control. Domination suffocates growth and trust. It demands compliance, not collaboration. But divine neutrality is seeing things as they are, without the need to control them. It understands that true strength doesn't need to dominate. It remains fair, steady, and impartial, allowing space for all things to simply be. Imagine a perfectly crafted bell. Forged from pure metal, polished to a mirror finish, it sits in stillness, holding the potential for a perfect note. It doesn't make a sound until it is invited to. It simply is. This is the nature of truth before it is spoken. Now gently tap it. You do not need to strike it with a hammer or force it to be heard. A gentle touch is enough. A beautiful sound emerges. The tone is true and pure, a single, clear frequency that travels through the air without effort. It doesn't shout or demand attention. The sound resonates, filling the space by simply being what it is. It does not try to drown out other sounds. It simply rings, and those quiet enough will hear it. This is the vibration of truth. It is not an abstract concept, but a tangible physical feeling. When you encounter it, your body knows. There is a softening, a release of tension you didn't even know you were holding. Your breath deepens, moving from the tight, shallow patterns of anxiety to a full diaphragmatic rhythm. Your shoulders lower, your jaw unclenches, and a sense of spaciousness opens within your chest. This is your nervous system attuning to what is real. It is a steady, consistent energy that resonates within you, a feeling of rightness that requires no external validation. Contrast this with the vibration of the ego. The ego's tone is often sharp, dissonant, and demanding. It feels tight, rushed, and constricted. It's the knot in your stomach when you feel defensive, the racing heart of indignation, the shallow breath of needing to be right. The vibration of truth, like the bell's pure tone, harmonizes with the world around it. It does not ask for revenge or domination. It doesn't need to win an argument or prove its superiority. It simply reveals what is real, allowing everything else to fall away. When you encounter it, you recognize it like coming home. It is the quiet confidence that allows you to stand firm without aggression, to speak clearly without shouting, and to act with integrity, guided by that unmistakable, resonant hum of what is true. There is a powerful, grounding concept known as embodied integrity. It means living your truth not just in thoughts or words, but in your very body and your daily actions. Your inner state and outer expression are in alignment. It is how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you treat people when no one is watching. Choices flow from truth, not from ego. Energy moves like currency. Spend it on anger or control, or invest it in calm, clarity, and kindness. Speaking truth with care builds trust and inner strength. Small, consistent acts create stability and quiet power. Wholeness is magnetic. It draws without force. Integrity validates from within. It does not need to win or dominate to be true. In the quiet corners of our daily lives, a fundamental choice presents itself. It's the choice between the loud ego and the quiet truth. You can feel the difference in your body, in your relationships, and in the silence after a conversation ends. The ego is loud. It operates through mechanisms of control and validation. It retaliates, shouting back when it feels wounded, convinced that the loudest voice wins. It dominates, interrupting in meetings to assert its importance, stifling the creative energy of the room. It projects an air of arrogance, a fragile shield against its own insecurity. Quiet truth, however, operates from a place of divine neutrality. This isn't apathy or weakness, it's a profound strength. It's the ability to see a situation for what it is, without the distortion of personal grievance. It recognizes the pain in another's anger without needing to react from it. Instead of shouting, "How could you say that?" truth finds the courage for a simple, powerful statement. "What you said hurt me." This quiet response holds more power than any shouting match because it doesn't seek to win. It seeks to connect and clarify. It creates a space where real understanding can begin. In a boardroom, this divine neutrality allows the best ideas to surface, not just the ones from the most dominant person. Online, where outrage is currency, a single, thoughtful post grounded in this quiet truth can become an anchor of sanity for many. So how do we cultivate this? Begin with a pause. Before you react, before you type, before you defend, just pause. This pause creates a sacred space to choose. Will you fight to be right, or will you open up to be whole? Will you strive to win the argument, or to deepen the connection? From this space, use I statements to own your feelings. Keep your actions steady and consistent with your inner values. This is embodied integrity. Real truth is a steady, gentle light, not a blinding flash. It resonates like the clear, pure tone of a bell, traveling far without effort, unlike the jarring crash of a cymbal that demands attention but signifies little. Walk with this embodied integrity, letting your actions align with your words. In a world saturated with noise, your quiet strength, your resonant truth, becomes a beacon, a source of clarity and peace, first for yourself and then, inevitably, for others. If this resonated, please subscribe, like, and share. For more quiet truth, follow us.